Recording for the Blind is a national non-profit organization providing recorded textbooks, library services, and other educational resources at no charge to people who cannot read standard print because of a visual, physical, or learning disability.
There was a time in my life that I wished I'd been born blind. I know how shocking that must sound. How could anyone wish to be blind? Well, I don't mean that exactly. What I mean is that when people see you're blind, they know you're disabled. Let me explain. I was diagnosed as having dyslexia in my senior year in high school, after which I started receiving special education from the school. That included recorded textbooks from Recording for the Blind. There were other positives that I received, such as understanding, rather than being considered slow or just plain stupid. Even my own parents thought of me as lazy when it came to schoolwork. You see, if I'd been blind, people would have thought of me as disabled, rather than stupid, lazy, or slow. I remember one incident in particular. It happened in, it must have been the 5th or 6th grade in grammar school. The teacher was going around the room and calling on the kids to read a paragraph and comment on it. I couldn't do it, so she kept me after school.
Nathan, what am I going to do with you? You knew you were supposed to read chapter 3 in your textbook, and you were supposed to write a report about it. You had plenty of time to do it. But instead, you just buried your head in the book and you daydreamed. So of course you weren't ready. It's always the same thing with you. Are you listening to me? I talked to your mother the other day, and we both agreed it's not that you're dumb or slow. So it must be that you're just plain lazy or you just don't care. Nathan, you have so much potential. I just don't understand you, nor do your parents. We're all concerned about your future. What am I to do, Nathan? What?
It was years later that I found out that I was dyslexic. That was when I learned about Recording for the Blind. Over half of RFB's borrowers have dyslexia, or a print disability. Others, like my friend Liz Conejo, attend school completely blind.
I'm Liz Conejo. I've been blind since I was 17 from glaucoma. Some might call me lucky, because I at least spent the first 17 years of my life sighted, so I can relate to colors, objects, and even what I look like. I've also become more aware of the discrimination towards people with disabilities by those who mean well. I'm convinced that they don't mean to be that way. It's just ignorance and fear. I only know that I've been subjected to it since my blindness.
So, Mike, how long have you been using RFB?
I've been using RFB now for about 12 years, since late high school. It was right around the time I began losing my ability to read print, and my sister told me about RFB, so I checked it out, and it's really gotten me all the way through college and now most of the way through law school.
Another really neat thing about Recording for the Blind is that a lot of the books have already been recorded. They got something like over 80,000 titles already recorded, and I think, in my experience, I've only had to take books down there maybe once or twice in my college career. And you know, now that I'm almost done with school, I still plan on using them when I get to be a professional in my career.
It's really true. I mean, I just recently, I don't know if I told you about this, but I'm taking the bar in February, and I just recently dropped some materials off with them for the multi-state exam, so they're reading all of that stuff for me right now. And even after the bar, and I'm practicing as an attorney, I plan to be using the electronic text, or called e-text, and that's where they put the books actually on computer disk, and they make it available through, if you're a blind student, you're able to access the materials through your computer.
That's great.
Yeah. How about you, Liz?
Well, I lost my sight when I was 17, and a few years ago, and that's about when I started using RFB. And a couple of years ago, when I entered the broadcasting program at school, I had this professor who, he kind of didn't want me in the class and said that there were too many books to read. And so I told him that I already had the book on tape.
Pardon me. Can I help you, young lady?
Yes, I'm looking for computer science 2A.
Computer science?
Yes.
Well, this is computer science 2A. Are you sure you're scheduled for this class?
I'm quite sure.
Listen, don't misunderstand what I'm about to tell you, but computer science 2A is an advanced computer class. Difficult, even for normal people, let alone a handicapped person like yourself.
You know, I've been called a lot of things before, but this is the first time I've ever been called abnormal. I guess you'll just have to take my word for the fact that I'm quite normal, and furthermore, I'm not handicapped.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean abnormal. I meant that, well, for a person that can't see, look, this is a very difficult class. There's a lot of note-taking. There's 6 tutorials that need to be read and understood. There's 3 textbooks we need to complete by the end of this